Hello, dear friends! Today we will continue to play a game called Plants vs. Zombies. The amazing digital circus is with you as usual.
Let's not delay, let's start. In the meantime, please like and subscribe to the channel. This is very important.
And write your challenge in the comments for the next Zombie vs. Plants video. For example, we can only play with ice pea shooters.
We stopped at the level with the nuts. In fact, it's quite an interesting idea to make a mini game with bowling. I wouldn't have thought of it myself, to be honest.
The main thing is to keep the red nuts. They explode. Don't throw them around in the first place. After all, if there is a big wave, we will not be able to fight back with ordinary nuts, and we will lose. And at the very initial levels, it's a shame.
I totally agree. Here's some more good advice at this level. First of all, launch nuts into zombies with cones on their heads. They have double health.
And don't forget to wait until the zombies come closer so that a huge amount appears. Then the nut will do as much damage as possible and can ricochet to kill 2 to 3 zombies.
Great tips. A lot of useful information.
Did you know that Plants vs. Zombies has a bunch of fascinating facts? This game is just filled with interesting details.
Yes, of course. For example, did you know that it was initially conceived as something like a zombie shooter rather than tower defense?
No, I haven't heard about that. Tell me more.
In the very beginning of development, PopCap experimented with various ideas, and initially it was supposed to be a shooter. But then they decided to rethink the concept and incorporate tower defense elements, which, in my opinion, made the game unique.
That's interesting. What else?
Well, for example, some zombies have internal jokes and references to pop culture. Did you notice that the zombie in Space Cowboy looks like Jar Jar Binks from Star Wars?
I definitely didn't notice. That's fun. Are there any other references?
Another one appears in one of the expansions resembling Michael Myers from Halloween. How do you like that creativity?
Cool, I love these nods. Anything else?
Oh, yes! Did you know that they were inspired by real plants when creating the arsenal? For example, the pea pod is based on a real plant that shoots its seeds.
That's simply incredible. What clever developers. Are there any other interesting facts?
Oh, there's a lot more. For instance, the game has various modes, including the puzzle mode, where you have to solve different puzzles using plants. It's like mental training during the zombie apocalypse.
That's amazing. I didn't even know about such a mode. Are there any unique mechanics?
Certainly. For Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, they added a multiplayer mode where you can battle other players in a shooter style.
That sounds exciting. What about the community? Is there anything interesting?
Yes, the fan community is very active. On forums and social media, you can find tons of creative fan art, memes, and even fan-made stories about the game.
How cool! I'd love to see those fan creations. And what are the plans for the future of Plants vs. Zombies?
According to the latest information, the developers plan to release even more expansions and improvements. So perhaps more thrilling moments in the world of zombies and plants await us.
Hooray! We have passed the level and now we have a new plant. Potatoes. With its help, we can use new tactics.
Note that in addition to the new plant, we have a new zombie. This is a zombie jumper. Not only does he jump over plants, he also runs very fast. We need to be more careful.
I totally agree. Do you have any ideas about tactics?
I propose to build 2 rows of sunflowers. Thus, we will collect a huge number of suns, which will allow us to plant the entire lawn with our defenders.
And in order to gain as much time as possible for planting sunflowers, we use my favorite tactic. Let's plant potatoes. It costs practically nothing, but it will be very useful. Now you'll see for yourself.
How cool! Together we have come up with a powerful tactic. Now it remains to adhere to it, and all levels are ours.
Hey guys, let's lift the mood and share a couple of jokes about Plants vs. Zombies. Who's first?
Well, I have one. Why does the tall nut enjoy playing Plants vs. Zombies?
I don't know, why?
Because it loves when things always go nuts around it. Everyone laughs.
Haha, excellent! I've got one too. How do zombies propose?
I can't imagine how.
They say, "You're like a plant to me, I adore you, and you'll always be on my mind." Laughter ensues again.
And here's my joke. Why is the sunflower so popular at parties?
Well, why?
Because it always shines and brightens up the mood. The lighting in the club is all about the sunflower.
Very creative, Jax. But let's not forget about the zombies. Why don't zombies participate in concerts?
Why not?
Because they always fall asleep during the second act. Laughter ensues once again.
That's the spirit! We could tell a couple more, but I'm afraid we'll start a competition for the best joke.
And it would be a competition where everyone is a winner. But in reality, these jokes reminded me why we all love Plants vs. Zombies so much. Not only is the gameplay fantastic, but the lively atmosphere is just as enjoyable.
Exactly. Even in the most tense moments of the game, we can find a reason to laugh. It's this unique blend of spectacle and humor.
And that, my friends, is truly valuable. It's always great when a game brings joy and laughter.
Agreed. So let's continue to laugh and enjoy our adventures in the world of Plants vs. Zombies.
Why not? Long live the fun battle against zombies and the cheerful plants!
Hey guys, remember when we first started playing Plants vs. Zombies? I have so many memories.
Of course I remember. Saw this game at a friend's place and thought it was some kiddie joke. But once I started playing, I realized it's just brilliant.
I had my own aha moment too. Couldn't believe such a simple concept could be so captivating. How about you? What were your first impressions?
The game's atmosphere drew me in. Those playful plants, funny zombies, and the moment I first saw the giant walnut, I burst out laughing.
And who's your favorite character or plant? For me, it's definitely the cob cannon. That guy is just fantastic for defense.
I'm all about the pea shooter. The way it shakes when shooting is just hilarious. Absolutely incredible.
I guess mine would be the cherry bomb. That explosion and its zombie magnetism is pure magic.
As for me, it's definitely the sunflower. It just lights up and makes everything so vibrant.
Remember how challenging it was to beat some levels for the first time? Especially when new types of zombies were introduced?
Oh, absolutely. Those moments when you think everything's under control and then a new zombie appears, changing the entire strategy.
And did anyone play the survival mode? That was a whole different level of chaos. Zombies everywhere!
Yeah, I remember trying to survive with friends as long as possible. It was a true test of survival.
And how much fun did we have in the multiplayer mode, Garden Warfare? Battling it out with other players was a real challenge.
What do you think about fan creativity? I remember finding tons of cool fan art, and even some musical covers inspired by Plants vs. Zombies.
Oh, I recently saw a fan video where real people transform into zombies and plants. It's amazing how fans embody their love for the game.
Absolutely. And remember those discussions about theories that if a real zombie apocalypse happened, the plants from the game could save us?
Yeah, those were fun discussions. But honestly, I'd prefer if zombies stayed within the confines of the computer screen.
Well, zombies in real life would be a problem, but at least we'd know how to stand up to them, thanks to our experience in Plants vs. Zombies.
Agreed. This game not only entertains, but might come in handy in a real zombie invasion.
It's always nice to reminisce about those moments. We all found something special in it.
Let's talk about the amazing community that has gathered around Plants vs. Zombies. What are your impressions?
Indeed, it's an incredible community. I'm always amazed at how fans find creative ways to express their love for the game.
Absolutely. I wonder, has anyone visited the forums or interacted with other fans?
I've checked the forums a few times, and it's just buzzing with life. People share their strategies, discuss news, and even create their own stories in the world of Plants vs. Zombies.
That's great. I also occasionally visit the forums to stay updated on the latest developments and just chat with like-minded people. How do you see the community's activity evolving over time?
Well, from what I've seen, the community keeps growing. Even after all these years, people still actively discuss the game, share their experiences, and create new content.
Remember when we first saw fans doing cosplay of characters from Plants vs. Zombies? That was something.
Oh yes, that was fantastic. Just recently, I saw a group where people shared their cosplay photos and even organized their own events.
It's amazing how the game can inspire such creative endeavors. But it's not just cosplay. What about fan art?
Fan art is also top-notch. I see so many talented artists creating amazing works and making the characters even more alive.
Did you know that developers sometimes pay attention to fan art and get inspired by it for creating new content? It's so cool how the community interacts with the creators themselves.
And let's not forget how fans create their own mods for the game. Some of them are so interesting and add something unique to the standard gameplay.
Remember when fan sites dedicated to Plants vs. Zombies first appeared? It was so exciting to see how the community developed online.
Of course I remember. So much useful information, guides, and even memes related to the game. It's like a separate encyclopedia for true fans.
I also remember how fans organize their own tournaments and competitions. It adds even more dynamics to the game.
And speaking of which, do you have any special memories of your interactions with the fan community?
I remember finding a great strategy for one of the challenging levels on the forum that I would never have come up with myself. We discussed it for hours.
I found a group where people share their secrets for quickly completing levels. Everyone is so friendly and willing to help.
I participated in one of the fan tournaments, and even though I lost, I was thrilled with the experience. Met a lot of interesting people.
I have many pleasant memories too. For example, I remember how we gathered with fans at online parties, played multiplayer modes, and just chatted.
In general, the Plants vs. Zombies community is not just a gathering of fans, but a real family. We are all here to support each other and share our love for this amazing game.
Absolutely right. And even after many years since the release, our community remains just as passionate and inspiring.
Let's discuss ideas for the continuation of Plants vs. Zombies. How do you envision the next chapter in this exciting and fun universe?
Well, first and foremost, I think we need new characters. What do you think about zombie vampires or plants with magical properties?
Sounds interesting, but why not add new locations to the game? Maybe some exotic islands or underwater worlds where plants and zombies evolve in new ways.
I would suggest focusing on the story. Perhaps create an epic adventure tied to the search for a special plant capable of shifting the balance of power in this world.
Great ideas. What about expanding the multiplayer mode? We could see new competitive modes or even cooperative missions for teams.
Yeah, and adding more customization for characters wouldn't hurt either. The ability to choose unique skins, or even abilities for our favorites.
What if we introduce building elements? Give players the ability to create their own defensive zones using plants and other resources.
How about the concept of day and night? We could witness events unfolding differently during the day and night, with different challenges and dangers.
These are fantastic thoughts. But let's not forget about the classic plants and zombies. Maybe add new levels of development or abilities for them.
The idea of development levels sounds great. It would add depth to the strategy and make the progression even more engaging.
I would suggest incorporating an element of randomness. For example, the appearance of special events during the game or dynamic changes in the world that affect tactics.
Yes, and it would also be cool to see more interaction with the environment. For instance, using different terrains or objects to gain strategic advantages.
Excellent ideas. What do you think about adding some social elements to the game? The ability to trade plants or support other players?
Oh, that would be great! Cooperation between players, exchanging experiences and plants. We could create our own communities within the game.
Can we also pitch ideas for new zombie bosses? How about a giant zombie spider or a sinister necromancer zombie summoning hordes of the undead?
The idea of bosses sounds thrilling. We could collaborate on developing strategies to deal with such powerful adversaries.
Well, there you have it, guys. Excellent ideas. It seems we have a wealth of inspiration for the future continuation of Plants vs. Zombies. Let's keep this conversation saved, and perhaps our ideas will become part of the game world someday.
Well, the next level is passed. It was very easy, and we got a new flycatcher plant. Let's test it in the next video.
Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and write your divine comments.
Thank you all for watching. See you in the next video.